Perfect. And I have 6 o'clock, so let's go ahead and get started. I will continue to add people into the meeting as they pop in. You just heard me announce the recording here. I am recording this for any of our troop volunteers that are unable to join us this evening. And so that way we will be able to post that to our website in our volunteer training area. So thank you for those of you that are able to join us this evening. This is the troop volunteer training for the Digital Cookie and Smart Cookies systems. We are looking down the barrel of the 2025 cookie program, and so we're going to give you a quick but helpful demonstration on how to operate both the smart cookie and digital cookie systems. As we're getting started, and I'm going through some housekeeping items, if you don't mind, please going ahead and putting your first and last name in the chat along with your troop number. That way I have just a brief record of who is able to join us this evening in case there's any follow-up needed. I will continue to announce that as we go along as well. If you don't have the chat feature, don't worry too much about that. But I do just like to keep an eye on who's able to join us. So thank you so much for that. As we go through, I will be pausing periodically for questions, but I also invite you to take yourself off mute. And if you have a question, let's address it at that time. I do ask that unless you're asking a question, you go ahead and remain on mute. That way I am able to save the recording for the future people that are going to watch this. It's a little bit easier when it comes to that with everyone staying muted. So please feel free to unmute yourself when you have a question. I'll also be pausing, but otherwise, thank you for joining us. And those of you that are just joining us, if you haven't already, please go ahead and put your first and last name into the chat along with your troop number. I am going to go ahead and take myself off of video. I tend to distract myself with gestures, and it's also a little bit easier to navigate Zoom with that video feature off. So if you have yours on, feel free to leave it on. If it's off, feel free to leave it off, whatever you're comfortable with. So just give me a moment here and then we will get started. Perfect. As we get started as well, and now that the troop numbers and names have kind of come down to a trickle, I do want to go ahead and put my email in the chat. My name is Emma Miller, and I'm the Director of Product Sales here for the Girl Scouts of Central Illinois. I am starting my 4th cookie season as the solo director, and so I'm excited to be able to work with all of our volunteers again this year. So my email is dropped in the chat there. For those of you that may not have the chat feature, it is my first initial with my last name, so emiller at girlscouts-gsci.org. So I will mention that a few times as we go through the training, but again, that email there is in the chat for you. So thank you for that, and let's go ahead and get started. So hopefully you have all received your troop volunteer email for the Smart Cookie system. I may have heard from a few of you and helped you get into that system already. If you haven't received those emails were sent out on last Monday, the 9th, probably around 9 or 10 in the morning. If you did not receive that, please go ahead and send me an email at that email address I put in the chat. And that way I will be able to get you into the Smart Cookie system as quickly as possible. So once you've clicked on that email and you have set up your site, you're going to go ahead and log into Smart Cookie. Now, what you're going to see on my screen here first is not what you'll see. This is the council dashboard. I am going to mimic one of my coworkers who is also a troop leader and show you around her troop and then go to a training troop for some practice here. So just bear with me for a quick moment and I will get swapped over to the view that our leaders see. Right, so you should hopefully see the troop dashboard on your screen. This is what you'll see. The only differences will be your troop number and those kinds of items. What I like about the troop dashboard is it does give you a very brief overview of what's happening in your troop. You can go in and update your troop package goal here just simply by typing in a new number and clicking update. That will then populate this progress bar here and show you how close you are to your goal. As you scroll down in the dashboard, you're going to be able to see your per girl average. So that's packages per girls selling in your troop. And that is this year compared to last year. You can see your inventory, your total sold, and what should be your total packages on hand. As you scroll down a little bit further, you'll see here a calendar of important dates. December is a slower month, but as we get into January, things do pick up a bit. You'll see that January 13th here is highlighted. That is the initial order due date. So for troops who want those initial load of cookies for the start of the program, that order is due January 13th, and then those will be delivered to our local service units that last week of January, starting on Friday, January 31st, and then running into next week, February 3rd through the 6th. So you'll see all of these different due dates here. There might be messages depending on, if your troop chooses to use that and post messages on the Smart Cookie board. You can also see your stats compared to last year, how things are selling. So again, it is an at a glance of what we are looking at for the sale here. So that dashboard is very helpful for us. I wanted to go through just a few of the tabs that will be important. My troop tab is important. Your roster will live there. I'm not going to open up my coworker's roster just to keep her girls' data safe, but in your Smart Cookie system, when you click troop roster, you should see a list of girls in your troop. If there is a girl missing, I encourage you to either reach out to your local program specialist, your local membership engagement coordinator, or myself. Any of us can get you into the system or get our girls into the system as well. Troop information is going to be another helpful tab. On this tab, you're going to be able to put the expected number of girls selling. If your troop age level is listed incorrectly, you're able to drop that down and make those changes. If you are a troop who is going to choose to opt out of rewards, so when a troop chooses to opt out, they are deciding not to take the physical items like the cups and the stuffies, along with any free memberships or cookie or travel dough, in order to receive 90 cents per box, a 25-cent increase from the standard proceed. So if a troop is going to make that decision, they're going to drop down this proceed plan here and choose opt-out patches only. What that tells me and the system is that your troop will get the patches, but again, your troop is opting out of any of the other items that girls may earn, which do include the free membership. Some of these things you can't change. That's information we have on file. But then down here, we have contact information that you're also able to update. Looking again at Troop tab, if you need to take a look at your Troop users or make sure that, your Troop treasurer has been added, you can take a look here. Some troops choose to use set tasks. That can be something that you use to help guide your girls and their guardians or help your other troop users to see what's going on. And then important dates takes that part of the dashboard that we just took a look at and helps break it down in a more specific area. So the My Troop tab is helpful to us. The Orders tab, we're not going to be able to see much on the troop screen right now, just because the ordering part of the cookie program is not live right now. So I'm going to skip over and show you a few of the other portions of Smart Cookie, and then we'll dive into an example website where I can show you some of those orders just so you get a feel for how the program will work here. So before I move on, just to showing you a few things, I wanted to pause here and see if there are any questions that I can help answer at this time. Okay, hearing none, we'll keep rolling along. Again, please feel free, if you have access to the chat, you can type your questions there, and when I pause, I will read through those. Or when I pause periodically, you're also able to unmute yourself. So again, we're going to skip that Orders tab for right now, but I do want to show you the Booth tab. When we go to Schedule Booth as the troop leader, you are going to be able to see a list of all of the different stores that are available to you. Right now, there's only one because, again, this is an example for us, so don't panic. We are continuing as a council to build booths into that system each and every day, so please keep checking back. It is our goal to add all of the available booths that we do have secured into the system prior to the initial order open date on January 2nd. That way, troops can see what kind of booth opportunities are available prior to placing their troop initial order. So you'll see a full list here, but right now we just see a Walmart listed. What you'll see here too is a little legend of what the booth is. So you'll see it's a first come, first serve. All of our booths are going to be a first come, first serve. We don't do lottery. It's a little bit easier that way. Once a troop signs up for an appointment time, that time is theirs. The P in that green dot signifies premium. So our Walmart booth opportunities and our Sam's Club booth opportunities are deemed premium opportunities. And so at the beginning from January 2nd through the 5th, troops will be able to choose one premium booth appointment. And then starting January 6th, they can go back in and sign up for as many additional booth slots as they prefer, premium or not. So if I was going to schedule my booth time here, I'm going to click that. It's very difficult to see probably on your screens, but there are dates in blue here on Friday and Saturday and a few on Sunday. Those blue dates are going to signify available dates. So I maybe would like to choose Friday the 7th here, the 5 to 8 p.m. slots available. I would click save, and then my booth time would be reserved for me. So that is how any of the booths that our council is going to be reserving, that's how you'll reserve those appointments for Walmart, Sam's Club. Depending on your region, there are going to be other regional opportunities at different stores as well. As a troop, you are also welcome to make your own booth reservation. So maybe contact a store that we don't work with as a council, or you have a friend who owns a coffee shop, or whatever the case may be. You can do that by entering here troop secured booths. So you will need the store name. What store will you be outside of there? If there's information, the corner of ABC and 123 streets or things like that that may help the customer find you. You do need the address, and I do encourage you to make sure that that address is correct, because that then works with Google Maps, and when our customers are actually looking for booth opportunities, they can pull up that exact address and go to the right place. Down here is the troop contact. That will be who is reserving the booth. And then if there's any booth notes like, I don't know, look for the green awning or anything like that that may help your customers, then you'll click next. After that, then you'll be prompted to add the times that you'll be at that booth, and then you'll click save. That will then make the booth sit in a pending status. I am the council approver for booths at our council, and so I do make sure I'm approving booths at least once a day, if not 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 times a day, just to make sure I'm staying on top of it. And so though you should quickly see that that goes from pending to approved. There are a few locations that hopefully you're aware of that, we want to make sure we're hosting cookie booths at places where our girls are welcome as patrons. So if the store is open to only people, 21 and older or 18 and older, then our girls aren't welcome there as patrons, so they should not be outside of those facilities. If I do notice that, I will deny that booth opportunity. Same thing goes with any sort of home addresses. GSUSA wants to protect our Girl Scouts, and we want to make sure that girls are not listing their home addresses, or troops aren't listing girl addresses as booth opportunities. We do want to have customers, but we don't want customers coming to our personal homes. It should be a public, safe place for everyone. So other than that, those things will be approved. I do also want to caution you that if you want to use some of the tricks that we're going to see in Digital Cookie here shortly, You do want to make sure that you're entering these troop secured booths and that you're doing it in at least a 24-hour notice. I will approve it, but it does take 24 hours to sync with the digital cookie system. So I encourage you, if you're working on booths now or in January when things open up, go ahead and put in all the requests that you have, and that way they're approved and ready to sync as soon as possible. I know that it isn't uncommon for an opportunity to pop up out of nowhere. And I still encourage you to put that booth into Smart Cookie for customers to find you on the cookie locator. It also helps you to use the booth divider that we'll take a look at. But I do encourage you to enter that troop secured booth. But if it is last minute, the sync time may be difficult with digital cookie. Unfortunately, there isn't anything I can do to speed up that process. So I do encourage you, as soon as you know about a booth opportunity, enter it here under the troop secured booth option. If you want to just take a quick glance at your troop reservations as a whole, you're going to navigate to the troop reservations portion of the, or I guess it's my reservations portion of the troop dashboard. This is going to show you how many have been approved or denied or pending of your troop secured booths. You'll also see then your different reservations that you've made on our council secured booth opportunities. And again, you'll see here a list of all of those opportunities. If you do need to cancel a booth, you do need to scroll all the way over to the right-hand side here where there are 3 dots on each line, and you'll click that to release reservation. And that will then release that to other troops again, as long as it's not a troop secured booth. But like, for example, I'm not going to be at this next weekend's Walmart. Go ahead and release that date so another troop could use that if they're looking around for that. So do I have any questions about booths or the booth tab in Smart Cookies?
What time are we able to go in and secure booths on January 2nd?
The booth reservations will begin at 9 a.m. on January 2nd.
And same with January 6th?
Yes, it will. Actually, I believe on January 6th, it cycles over at midnight. So as soon as it is, 12 a.m. on the 6th, people, I believe, can go back in, but I do schedule that first reservation for 9 a.m. on the 2nd. Any other questions? Perfect. Thank you. Good questions so far, and we'll keep rolling along. The rewards tab will be used more towards the end of the program for your troop. The reward order is very important to make sure that our Girl Scouts are getting the rewards that they've worked very hard to earn. So if you click Manage Recognition Order, you'll be able to start a recognition order here. Apparently, it's not going to let me do that, but when you click that, then you'll see a list of your girls, and then you'll be able to make sure that they are able to select the cookie dough or the travel dough that they may prefer. Then if you want to take a look at what you've done for your recognition order, that will be populated here. Again, because I haven't started one yet, and but you will see that order in full, and then this will be where you would go to submit that order. So again, rewards tab doesn't have a super lot of population, but this is where you will go to submit your troops reward order at the end of the program. Finances is pretty simple. As a troop, you are not able to enter your own troop transactions. What will be entered here are things like when we do our automatic withdrawals as a council. Those will show up here. We don't allow troops to enter their own transactions just to make sure everything is honest and fair. But as a troop volunteer, you do have access to enter girl transactions. This helps you and any other volunteers in your troop that may be helping, as well as the girls as they're looking at their balances in digital cookie, to see where they're at and how much they still owe and things like that. So I do encourage you to add girl transactions when you can. You'll do that by hitting add girl transactions. You'll pick your Girl Scout. You'll select your transaction type. Usually it's a payment. You can check how they paid, whether it was at a cash, a check, they were at a booth, the dates, the amount, and then any notes that may help you for that. So then once you hit save, that will be posted here, and then that will talk to the girl's digital cookie and help reduce what she owes on her balance as well. The last really helpful tab for us that we're going to use a lot are the reports tab. And so this reports tab, if you want to go back, if you are an established troop and you have had a year or two of cookie sales, you can go to archived to pull data and reports from last year. Current is going to be where you're going to go for any of this year's data. You can pull it by category. So if you know you're looking for a report about booths or you're looking for a report about finances, on the right-hand side is the full list of reports. So if you just want to cycle through and see what's available, but you can also break it down by category as well. If you like a certain report, so, I like the girl deposit summary, you can add that to your favorites. Those will then populate up here in a list of favorites. You can have up to 10 favorite reports saved in Smart Cookie. So I do encourage you, if you have a certain amount of reports you're using time and time again, add those to a favorite and make it really easy to access those. The last few tabs are more for you to explore and for your information. The cookies tab actually goes through and talks about each of our varieties, their ingredients. Safety and training has both Smart Cookies training as well as talking about safety. So things like Girl Scout program safety resources, permission forms. Resources is a really helpful tab for our volunteers as well. So resources are things like digital art, forms, checklist, worksheets. There's a cookie calculator. If your troop would like to download and save the allergen flyer, you can do that there. I do also encourage you, if you don't already have a troop cookie coordinator guide from your office or your regional cookie training, I encourage you to swing by your local office or talk to a staff member about getting a copy. Towards the back of that guide, we do have a copy of the allergen flyer published for our troops as well. If you want a cookie lineup sheet with information about each of the cookies to give to your Girl Scouts, you can print that here. If you want to get them excited and do some rally activities, as well as learning about the 5 skills, all of that there is on the resources tab for Smart Cookie. So again, 90% of a troop's work is going to be in the Smart Cookie system. And so I do want to really quick pop over to my demo site so that I can show you the orders that we'll be doing, and then we'll take a look at digital cookie. So while I'm switching over to a different view, does anybody have any questions? Okay, hearing none, let's take a look at the orders tab. Now I just want you to keep in mind that this is the practice council dashboard. It looks just like our real one, but this looks just a little bit different than what our troop leaders see. But I do want to go through the orders tab because they do operate the same. So if your troop just wants to take a look at the different kinds of orders, go to the Manage Orders tab. ABC does like to make sure that you are clicking things. So in order to get any data to populate down here, you do have to click Apply Search Parameters. Now, there's no data here because our practice sale isn't live, but you can see here that you can actually break down or filter your report if you want to look at what your troop ordered initially, your planned orders. You can break down transfers, which we'll take a look at transfers here next. But if you want to see all of the different cupboard to troop transfers, so you've been at a cupboard, you've picked up cookies, our council has entered that for you. We've done a cupboard to troop transfer. You can filter by those. You can also filter by cookie share, direct ship, or transaction. So this is a helpful, again, at a glance, you can kind of see all of it here above once you have orders going. But if you want to filter and drill down, you can do that here by applying those filters. I do just want to encourage you that, again, once you click something, that you apply that search parameter just to make sure that your data loads properly. So taking a look then at the initial order, again, this is going to be due as a troop. You will not have to click these things. This is because I am in the council view. As a troop, this will just load straight to the initial order screen. So please disregard the troop order deadline that you see on your screen. Again, this is for the practice site. What you'll see here is that the troop order deadline is January 13th. I just wanted to show you around here that you can actually see that your order, you can break that down and see how it's built on a per girl average. You can see what your initial order will be by package and then the value of that initial order. When you're placing that initial order, you will have girls listed here. I did not build girls into the practice site. I'm actually not able to do that, but you will see here a list of all of the girls that are on your troop roster in Smart Cookie. You can drill down to each of the girls by clicking this arrow here and then enter their order by package. So then if you are gonna want to order any for your booth, you can place that here in the booth line. The extra line is a line that populates by itself. So you'll notice here, I cannot type in that box. So what that is telling you is, let's say, for example, I'm going to order 13 Adventurefuls. So my total packages is going to be, I'll have 11 total packages or extra because the initial order is delivered to the case. So I would have received 2 cases to fulfill my 13 package order. And so that does mean that I have 11 extra packages that I can use to play with. These are cookies then that are going to be in your troops on hand inventory, and you can use those when you do a troop to girl transfer to assign credit to them. If you don't want any extras here, I do encourage that you order by increments of 12, or if your girls are ordering, as long as, if a girl orders 6 and another girl orders 6, you're covered. Some troops are okay with having extra packages and they use that for booth inventory or other things. Other troops don't want any extras here. But again, this is not an area you can change. This will change based on, so now if I just want to order 12 packages, you'll see here that I have 0 extra packages. So that is an easy way to help manage your extras there. Some troops prefer to enter any order notes. That is not required, but that is helpful if you want to remind yourself of something later on, you're able to do that. You do not have to click this ready for review. You are welcome to, but it is not required. All you need to do is click save. There is no submit button for the initial order. As long as that order is saved, then your order is good to go. I submit it when I do the council roll up at the end of the initial order, late on the 13th, early January 14th. The other item I want to mention is that you don't see the gluten-free listed here on the initial order. I know many of our troops did place a pre-order for those gluten-free cookies. Those I add to your initial order after your troop due date. So January 14th, I will be going in, I will enable the gluten-free selection. And if your troop placed that pre-order in September or October, I'll be adding those packages to your troop's initial order. So that is something to keep in mind while you're building that initial order, that we will be adding however many packages. If you ordered a case of that gluten-free, I'll be adding 12 additional packages to your order once that is submitted by you. You will see here on this upper red bar, last edited. I like this because you can actually pop up this icon here and it will show you who last made your edit. So if you see my name in there, it was probably me adding a gluten-free pre-order. If you have multiple volunteers that have access to your Troop Smart Cookie, it may be helpful to see whoa, who made that change? You can see that it's Bonnie and you can give her a call and see what's going on and why those cookies were added or subtracted. So that is helpful just to take a look at. But again, you don't need to worry about this ready for review bar. All you need to do is make sure you have your cookies in here and you've clicked save. So any questions about the troop initial order?
I have a question. So we're not able to get the gluten-free for the initial order if we haven't already put in? an
So if
order?
you, yes, that's correct. It won't be an initial order option because that variety did have to be pre-ordered due to our baker's standards.
Okay.
However, we will have a limited variety of that gluten or limited selection of that gluten-free variety at each of our local cupboards. So if you're in Bloomington, that'll be the Bloomington office. Champaign is the Champaign warehouse in Urbana. Decatur is their office. Peoria is their office. Quincy is the Quincy warehouse, and Springfield is the Springfield office. And so you would be able to go in as a troop volunteer and place a walk-in order that we would then enter as a cupboard to troop order for those gluten-free if you didn't pre-order them.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Any other questions? Excellent. Perfect. So with the next order we're going to take a look at are our transfer orders. This is where you are going to go if you are doing any sort of transfers to girls. So again, I have a few more options here in our system, but as a volunteer, you would be doing a troop to girl transfer. And so from here, you would pick the troop and the Girl Scout, and then I don't, again, have any girls loaded in here, but you would see their names here on the left, all of the cookie varieties here. And then once you place that order, you would just click save and that transfer order goes through. Again, you have a last edited bar so you can see who made that type of transfer order. This is the most common type of transfer you're going to do. We really shouldn't see any girl to troop transfers because, again, volunteers shouldn't be taking cookies back from our parents. You may once in a while have to do a girl to girl transfer if Stacy trades with Susie, then, or gives to Susie, then we'll have to do a girl to girl transfer. You will often see cupboard to troop transfers. If you go, I'll use Decatur as an example. If you go to the Decatur office and you pick up a couple boxes of each variety, we give you a receipt. And then at the end of the day, we'll enter those as cupboard to troop transfers. That transfers the financial responsibility and the inventory from our council cupboards to your troop. And then you further that breakdown by transferring that inventory and financial responsibility then to your girls. So you're going to be in here quite a bit, transferring things to girls. If they come to you and say, hey, I have some in-person orders and I need 7 trefoils, you would pick those up, give them to the girl, and then go in to do a transfer order for those 7 trefoils. So you're able to do transfers in both cases and packages. So it's really convenient. No matter the amount that's being transferred, you're able to do that. The last real big area that you'll be in the orders tab is the planned order tab. As a troop, you are going to have options for you. So as a troop, you may have options of multiple cupboards. If you are in Decatur, there's the Decatur cupboard as well as a Taylorville or a now I'm blanking on the other region, but there's a couple different cupboards. You would be able to pick those here. Once you pick your cupboard, then the available dates will populate. Again, they won't be December dates, but they will be dates that are appropriate for the program. You'll click on the date that you want to choose and continue. You'll pick the time that you want to choose and then save. From there, you're able to place your planned order in cases or packages. What is great about planned orders is you can order by the package. So unlike the initial order where if I order 11, I'm getting 12. If I order 11, I'm getting 11 when I pick up that order. Again, you can add order notes if you prefer. That is more for you and your internal resources, but once you're done, you'll click save. Our planned orders are going to be due every Sunday evening of the program starting February 9th and ending, I want to say it's March 16th will be the last planned order. You can order cookies to be picked up either at your local express cupboard or your local regional cupboard. So as long as those are in by 8 p.m. on Sunday, what you can expect is that you'd be able to pick up those cookies later in the following week. So then once the planned order is picked up, we approve that order as a council, and that will show up again as a cupboard to troop transfer as you're looking through your data. So it's at first a planned order, and then as soon as you pick it up, it is reverted to a cupboard to troop transfer. The last area of orders that will be of importance to you is your virtual cookie share. You will see again, if there are girls here, you can add their cookie share donations. The donations that are going to be added here are the ones that girls get in person. So if they are at mom or dad's office and someone gives them a donation, or they have an in-person digital cookie order, they are able, then you'll want to enter that in here for the girls. Otherwise, if the girls receive a donation at a booth, you're going to use the booth divider in order to, that'll be an option that'll pop up once we have booths going. And you can actually then use that to give credit to girls for those, and donation is a column. And then finally, if the girls get the donation from a direct ship or shipped only order from Digital Cookie, there's no work on your part. Those are automatically credited to the system. So we had a question pop up here. It says, so the planned orders would basically be used for when we get orders that the girls have to pick up. And yes, that is correct. So planned orders will be used for if girls have in-person orders to fulfill. Also, if your troop needs inventory for a cookie booth on a weekend, it's a good idea to place a planned order the weekend before. That way you can pick up your cookies and be ready to go for that following weekend. So really what I like to say is, if you plan on needing any sort of cookies, go ahead and place a planned order for that time period, because that tells us and guarantees our council that you need that product, and we'll make sure that that product is available for you then. So anytime you anticipate or know that you need cookies, placing a planned order is a good idea. Otherwise, you are able to pop into your local cupboards. If you don't know where that may be, I do encourage you to reach out to your local program staff or email myself, and we'll able to let you know where you'd be going. But you can always do a walk-in order for those as well. But we like to try to keep any large orders as planned orders, so that helps us to anticipate inventory needs. Hopefully that helps. Are there any other questions while we're paused for the moment?
I have a question. This is the first year I've really helped with cookie sales.
Yes.
Tracking all of this. So when that initial order comes in, are all of the boxes transferred to the troop, and then we transfer them to each girl individually?
So yes, that really depends on how you as a troop enter your initial order.
Okay.
Some people will enter, again, we don't have girls in the practice site, so you didn't see that. But on the bottom of our parent permission forms, there's actually a place for girls to place their initial order. And so as a troop, you could either total those up and put them under the booth line for your troop and then transfer those to girls later, or break it down and say, Emma wants this, 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 and this. Lacey wants these. Megan wants those, and then build it by girl. And so what happens then is, once that order is picked up, then those cookies, if you build it by girl, are automatically transferred to those girls already.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
if as a troop you don't know what the girls want, it's a good idea to just put the full order under the booth line, and then you can transfer it later. But otherwise, building it by girl saves you some time in the long run.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Any other questions? All right, perfect. Well, hearing none, we've looked at Smart Cookie, and so hopefully we feel good about that. We do have processes and procedures for everything that I talked about in your Troop Cookie Coordinator Guide. It is towards the back, but we do talk about how to put in your own booths, how to do your reward order. Also, if you're ever having difficulty, please don't hesitate to reach out to our customer care team, our program membership, or myself, and we are all more than willing to help you if you have any questions. So with Digital Cookie, I'm going to pivot over here and show you some of the site and then pivot over to a PowerPoint to show you some screenshots just because, again, our sale isn't totally live right now. So right now, real quick, again, I want to go over and act like I am a troop volunteer. So I am going to borrow my coworker's credentials. To note here is as a volunteer, you probably wear many hats. And so some of you may be a parent as well as a troop leader. So you may have several different roles assigned to you. So when you see site lead of Troop 1221, that means that that is the troop booth link. And so we're going to take a look at that on the PowerPoint. But if you're going in and you are logging virtual booth sales or you are setting up a troop virtual booth, you're going to do that from the site lead option. This option, just the troop of service unit 9, that is going to be your troop dashboard where you'll see your girls. So we're going to take a look at that first here and click continue. You can always change where you're going to or what screen you're viewing by going up here. You can see you are viewing as. You can drop this down and change between the two options here. So what you see is the troops dashboard. So here is your troop cookie site. Each of your troops have their own individual QR code that you can share. Also, once you start offering virtual booth orders or direct ship orders, those links will populate here too so that you can copy them to share. As troops or your Girl Scouts have orders, you can see any pending orders. This helps you keep on track of, are there any orders we need to fulfill? If that means we need to order cookies, I can place a planned order. That just helps you kind of keep a quick at a glance of what's going on in your site. Troop site sales is a progress bar for you, so you can follow the star to your goal. If as a volunteer, you want to send a cheer to your Girl Scouts, we'll show you how to do that here. Continuing to scroll, you can actually see how many sales your troop has total by cookie. You can see girl campaign, how many have sent an email, how many have a sale. You can also see how they're being delivered. Are most of them in-person orders? Are they shipped orders, donated? So you can see that by color on the progress bar there. Finally, at the very bottom of the screen are the available reports. So if you want to drill down and see girls' orders and make sure that everyone's fulfilling things, you can get an order report and you can filter that by in-person, shipped only, donation, whatever you may need to, you can filter by that. Initial order is when, if you wanted to pull that information for your troop, you could do that here. Cookie badges, you can see how girls are progressing on their cookie badges because they will record those steps on their digital cookie sites. And then reward selection can help you make the choices for girls. You can download this report and see what choices they have made. So that's kind of the dashboard at a glance here. We did have a question that came in and said, when will the links be live for girls to share? So the girls should have gotten their launch emails starting yesterday. The amount of data is incredible to get all of those emails out to girls. It's trying to get, a fire hose worth of data through a drinking straw. So those still may be trickling in, but if Girl Scouts haven't gotten their email yet, please let us know and we can get that information to you and get girls started. But girls do have these links, but again, we are looking at the troop dashboard and some of those links aren't going to be populated quite yet. Any other questions? All right. Again, taking a look at my troop, I'm going to pop here real quick. You can see again your troop goal once that's set. Then you can see a list of your girls. You can see their packages sold against their goal. Have they set up their cookie site? Is it published? Do they have any orders to approve? You can also then break it down by cookies sold and things like that. So don't want to hover on my troop too long, but again, this is where your troop roster will live as well. All girl data lives in Smart Cookie, but then the girls actually are active in Digital Cookie only. So this is a good area to see at a glance how your troop girls are doing here. Another question here, if we got the link. So again, that is more of a girl-based question, not a troop question. But girls are allowed to share that link on sites. But I would make sure that you, if you're a parent, talk with your troop leader. But yes, if you got the link, you are allowed to share. With those details, I do encourage you to check out the troop recording that we'll be publishing here. That will have all of that information and more about publishing links and when things are good to go. Any other questions as we are moving along? Perfect. My troop orders will be a place that you will go to see if there are any orders for your troop, if they're in a customer list. We'll take a look at that tab a little bit more on the PowerPoint screen when I have some screenshots for you. Cheers is a really fun tab. You can actually search for a girl, see who has, hit a goal or needs some encouragement, and you can actually send a cheer. So I'll show you a little bit more how that works again here when we move over to the PowerPoint. And then finally, if your troop chooses to schedule any booths in Smart Cookie, you can also offer those as virtual booth options and have pickup. So you can actually add pickup options to any of your booths. Again, because our booths aren't live, you're not going to see any here right now. But once you have booths that are signed up in Smart Cookie, you'll see those available, and you can set that up to make them visible for your customers. So we'll take a look here at that when we transfer over to the PowerPoint. So as I am getting that pulled up, I wanted to pause and see if anybody had any questions.
I've got one.
Okay.
When someone makes an order on one of those links, is that because I'm sorry, this is our first year.
Yeah.
And so is that you're saying that they can pick them up at a booth if we were to have one?
Yes. So your customers could shop online using your troop link. And so your troop would know ahead of time that you need XYZ for this customer. And then they could actually schedule a pickup time with your troop based on where they'll be at a booth.
Okay. And so if they order through the online, we are responsible as a troop to get that out to them. It is not something that is shipped to their house.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Let's see. Someone mentioned that they have daughters in different troops. You only received one email. If you could send me an email, I'll put it in the chat again here for those of us that joined after I sent that out the first time. But if you could just give me details like names, troop numbers, all of that, I'd be happy to look into it for you. So let me just drop that into the chat here real quick for you. Perfect. So that's there in the chat for you, and I'd be happy to look into that for you. So taking a at Digital Cookie, I do want to talk about the virtual booth link. So this is an option for our customers to shop online and then be able to, again, pick up at a booth. So in order to do that, you're going to first click Start Your Cookie Site. And so once you do that, then you're going to follow the next few steps. So I'm going to pause here. I saw, okay, just a name popping in. That's helpful. So the first thing you'll be prompted to enter is your troop's zip code. I know that some of our troops meet or cover multiple zip codes, so I do encourage that you use the zip code of where your troop meets. That is helpful to our customers, and then you'll want to select the troop site lead. So that maybe you're choosing it for yourself or you're choosing a co-leader or a cookie coordinator. Their name will be populated in that booth, and then you'll click Save. So from there, you'll click Set Up Your Site. When you do that, you'll be prompted again to choose your role. This time, you're going to choose Site Lead of your troop. This is going to act more like a Girl Scout account, and so that makes it easier to collect payment or work with the virtual booths. So once you've selected the Site Lead option, then you're going to be prompted, you'll have to watch the safety video. And so let that play out. Once it's done, then you'll hit continue. It will turn green. From there, you'll also be prompted to sign the terms and conditions. You'll check the box and then click continue. Then you'll need to activate the girl account. So you'll see next to Girl Scout, it will say, you know, troop site, whatever your troop number may be. You'll click to activate that account and then access site. And then I would recommend that you just leave your troop information as it is, because that will help avoid any sort of confusion, especially if you are a parent as well as a site lead. Leaving it as troop 3031 would be helpful, because then you can easily navigate between what is a booth, a troop booth item, and what is a girl digital cookie item. So from there, you'll be published. And so on your platform, this is a screenshot of your dashboard. You'll see that your status is published, and you'll have that virtual booth link that you're able to share. So you can share that as a link or as a QR code. And this then means that your customers are able to start shopping and ordering those cookies online. So as they're ordering online, then you'll see orders that are either pending delivery or pending pickup. Again, you'll see whether you need to approve those or deny those. You can also see your girl orders as well. Starting February 21st, which is the first day of National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend, troop ship only links will also be shared. So this is a link then that will populate right below that virtual booth link, and you're able to share that out. Now, what this does is it allows customers to shop online and then pay for those cookies to get them shipped to them. So this one will have no impact. You are not responsible for sending those cookies. Those will be sent to the customer from the baker, but your troop receives the credit for the sale. So at the end of the program, you will need to go into Smart Cookie and distribute those sales just like you would a booth. But I recommend doing that at the end or near the end of the program, so that you only have to do it once instead of going back and doing it multiple times. So this link will also populate when customers go and Google how to find Girl Scout cookies. They'll be taken to the cookie locator. And from there, then not only will they see the physical booths that people have, but they will also see your troop ship link. It will rotate. Troop options will rotate based on an algorithm, and customers can choose to shop from you. Saw a question pop in here. So people are able to order for direct ship from our customers as from our Girl Scouts starting now. So girls can share their link, and customers will be able to shop from them and shop for direct ship. Troop direct ship won't open until February 21st, when National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend kicks off.
So what's the difference between the girls link and then the troops link? What's why are there two different types
So
of links?
the girls link will give when the customer shops from that girl gets the credit. There's little to no work on the volunteer's part. When a customer shops from a troop link, they're not shopping from a specific girl. They're just shopping from the troop, and then the troop can choose how to distribute those boxes to girls at their leisure and at their preference.
Okay, and both of those links are the ones that would then ship. Those are ones that are shipped out, not ones that girls have to distribute.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Any other questions?
I have just a question.
Yes.
So you said that we're able to get orders now. Is that like something that would be automatically a girl delivered item? And then when would we be able to get the products to customers if they ordered?
So right now, only girl links are live. Troop links will go live in mid-February when National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend kicks off. So girls can be sharing their link now, and customers can shop for direct ship now. And as soon as their order is paid for, their cookies are shipped to them. So that could be in the next couple of weeks, depending on shipping times. If a customer chooses in-person delivery, then they are, thanked for their order and told to expect those cookies after February 7th, which is the first day that our cookie sale actually goes live.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So someone asked, so people can order as soon as their website is published. It doesn't all start in February. So girls can actually, they got their emails yesterday. Girls can set up their site and start to share that on social media, and customers can go to their digital cookie link and shop for either in-person or direct ship orders. Again, I kind of just previously described what happens if it's an in-person order or a shipped order. But yes, people can be ordering now, but there is no actual physical product moving from our troops to girls to people in person until February. Right, so moving on then, looking at the My Troop tab here, you again will see here how far you are to the troop goal. So even if it's not set, you'll be able to see how many packages your troop has sold. You'll also be able to see the different girls. Is their cookie site published? Are they set up but not published? Do they have any orders to approve? You can click to see delivery, delivery information or details. And then as a troop here, this is your troop site information at the bottom. So again, you would see what your troop site link is doing with those virtual booths. So the My Troop tab, again, is going to be a good roster, but also a good at a glance for what your troop is doing sales-wise. So My Troop Orders tab, you'll be able to see if there are orders to approve for pickup. You'll be able to approve those orders here. And then, these are for different booths and different options here. Then you can approve those. And once those then are approved, you'll be able then to see, the order type, add them to your customer list, and then make sure that they show up as completed as well. So the My Troop Orders tab is again where you're going to go if you have any virtual booths to approve those orders. That will tell your customers, hey, the order's been approved. We'll see you when you come to pick up later this week at a booth. The Cheers tab, as promised here, again, your troop members will populate here. You'll be able to see the goal progress. You can pick a cheer, so you can pick a populated message. There's 5 or 6 different messages you can choose. You can choose a picture with that. You'll see the preview here of what it's going to look like, and then you can send those cheers to girls. I do want to note, don't feel bad as volunteers if you're not getting cheers back. Girls actually cannot cheers back to their troop volunteers, but it is a good way for troop volunteers to say, hey, I see what you're doing, or keep it up, or you can do this, and help to encourage them just a bit. So then the virtual booths tab, again, you've set up those virtual booth orders like we talked through here. So then you'll be able to add a pickup option. So you'll go to the booth tab, or the virtual booth tab we took a look at here, and there are the different options. Once you've reserved your booths in Smart Cookie, you can click add pickup option. You'll put the name of the booth and how long you'll be there. I'll be there from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And add to your list. And then those will be added to your list of pickup booth locations. Now, if for some reason your booth gets canceled, or girls are sick, or things like that, you can delete the booth pickup or edit the dates. But this will again be communicated to your customers as well. So these are based on the cookie booths that you have signed up for in Smart Cookie. So that really concludes our view of Smart Cookie and Digital Cookie. Again, if you need any assistance, have any questions, I encourage you to reach out to your local program specialist. If you don't know who they are, you can reach out to me and I'll point you in the right direction. My email is on the screen there for you. It's emiller@girlscouts-gsci.org. And my phone number is there as well, 309-445-6396. So I appreciate each and every one of your time this evening. I look forward to kicking off this cookie program with you. If you should need to refer back to this training, I will have this posted on our council website in the Troop Volunteer Training section by Friday. That gives me time to finish up the recording and get that sent to our webmaster for posting. Again, I thank you for your time this evening, and thanks again, and I hope you all have a great cookie program. Have a wonderful evening, and thanks again for your time.
Emma, I have a question. Are you still on?
Yes.
Where do we take credit card payments at BOSAT? Was that under digital?
That would be
Cookie?
under digital cookie, under the site lead option. That would be where, since it acts like a girl, you'll be able to take credit card payments, and that would just credit to the Troop account then.
And am I the only one that has access to that, or can a parent who's working at a cookie booth take a credit card payment?
You'll need to make that change in the digital cookie system where I showed you, you drop that drop down at. They'll need to be registered to the Troop in order to get that option, because I do have to have a valid GSUSA ID number. So it may be you or like a co-leader. Otherwise, they're going to probably want to take their payments individually on girls' specific devices.
Okay, so the parent could take a credit card and give their girl credit for that
Yes.
cookie, then I'd have to transfer the funds then if
Yes.
it was at a booth? Okay.
Hopefully that helps.
And is the directions in that book that you talked about that we can pick up on?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, those Troop Cookie Coordinator Guide booklets, it's also downloadable. We have it posted as a PDF on our website. I know that it's a lot to print, but I